Hello and welcome. I am flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, no tips on the video, so do one if that's what you wanted. This is just a channel update. Channel update because I've been on a summer break and just updating you what is occurring in the channel, on my life, all that sort of stuff. I've got a few bits I want to say. I haven't written anything down as a note, so we'll see how much of a ramble this comes out as, or not. When been on summer break, obviously, as those of you who've been watching or paying attention will know, is I ended up going a bit earlier than originally planned, so I didn't do all of Galway Goodwood, there was kind of a number of things going on, but the main one was that my dad wasn't very well. So for those of you who've watched channel a lot, you'll know my dad got me into horse racing, and we spoke every single day about horses, and he'd send me his bets through, and I put them all online for him. It would all go via WhatsApp. Well, technically he wrote them out on a piece of paper. My mum would photograph them for him and then WhatsApp me them because he wasn't technically able to do that. So he wasn't well, and he hadn't been well for a long time. And then very, very sadly, he passed away a couple of weeks ago, the day after Galway finished. As you can imagine, my head's not really in the horses or in YouTube. And, I'm all right. The family's all right. He was of an age. He was, about 10 days short of his 87th birthday. He'll be greatly missed. It just was his time, and that's what happens in life, right? I mean, it's the summer holidays. I've got kids and stuff, so that takes a bit of a focus. I've got a life outside of YouTube, but fundamentally, my head and my heart is just not really in the horses at the moment, and it's temporary. It'll come back, but I've hardly been having a bet. I haven't been looking at YouTube, just not that interested in that sort of stuff, and it's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not asking you to get the violins. I've not lost the will to live here. Like, that's not what's happened. And whether it's all related to my dad or not, I don't know. Just not got the interest, and it's not been the best year. I mean, clearly from a channel point of view, at the point of we're going on a break. I think it was down. I was down 207. And on the backdrop of the year before, which was a struggle, which only did 6 months, and probably only done about 6 months this year, you put them together, it's like 400 and something odd down. I mean, if you really want to go back, even if you took November, December 2023, that was like over 600 profits. So if you've been around that long, you'll be all right. But if you've been around more recently than that, then you're probably down a few quid. And clearly, hopefully, people haven't lost their life savings. And I want the horses on here to be a reflection, and ideally a best reflection of the stuff that I do personally, and that's not quite happened in the last while. So that's kind of a personal frustration to me. It definitely feels like the game is getting harder, and I feel like what I really want to do is just have a bit more time at some point, and I'm not kind of doing it right now, but have a bit more time just to, as I've said to you many times, just go and hang out in my data and going through things, because I'm not completely up to date with all the spreadsheets and stuff I normally would be, and I'd like more time to go back and do that sort of stuff, and see what's working, what's not working, because I was sort of at the start of this year was collecting data in a different way, which is really, really helpful, and just not been able to maintain it all the way through. So I need to kind of go back and update it all, which is quite a manual task to go and do. So, punchline is I'm not feeling the horses, and I'm not feeling YouTube. I mean, YouTube's an interesting place, right? Like, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes there's some interesting stuff going on in the horse racing world. Sometimes there isn't. There seems to be a lot more content out there in the jumps world. You go through these times of not really having, many of the less scrupulous ones around, shall we say. I mean, the general rule of thumb is if they're called Peter and they're doing horse racing tips, just be really careful. That's what I would say to you. No disrespect to all of the Peters in the world, but yeah, generally speaking, from what I see on YouTube, if you call Peter and you do horse racing tips, they're the ones you want to be mindful of, and whether they appear to be a nice, friendly gentleman, or whether they're just loud in your face and telling you how good they are all day long. The bottom line is, folks, if you've watched my channel for any period of time, I would like to believe the vast majority of people have understood that people who keep clear statistics are people who are generally doing so because they are using that statistical data to inform themselves about either future horse racing bets, or because they're using it as a way to record what money they are making. And when there are people out there that aren't able to provide you with that level of data, and particularly, turn it on and turn it off, like that, go from a certain point when it looks good and then we'll talk about it, or just pick and choose the right bets, you just want to steer well clear, right? If people want to charge for tips, that's brilliant. I haven't really seen anyone in the time I've done YouTube that's charged for tips that I would have said is worth paying for. And there are people out there that do run services, but they don't need to be on YouTube and shouting about it, because they've got plenty of clients. The people who come on YouTube are the people that kind of want to get you in the market trader sort of arena and get you in that way. So just be very mindful of what you're following, and 1 week data, two winners here or whatever. None of that counts for anything, right? You want a long data set. You want periods of time. And I appreciate I'm talking on the basis I'm down £207 for the channel, right? And that's channel expenses. Some of you will be different, and I wish those that reflected what my personal betting was. It's not been the best year for me in terms of the last few months have just been bit flat. Last couple of months, a couple of before that were bad, and actually had a few good months, but it doesn't quite bear out in the channel stats. And that is a frustration. But yeah, if you've watched a long time, I'd like to believe there's definitely a couple of people that no matter what I say, they think I'm full of shit, and that's fine. That's their prerogative, right? I believe I'm a decent human being who's trying to do the right thing, and I think most people see that. There are a couple of people who just, no matter what I do, just seem to think I'm the dodgy one. But that's up to them. And I'm really grateful for the lovely folk I've met along the way on this channel. And there's people I keep in contact with regularly. That's whether that's via emails or messaging and stuff and various things. So my email address is in the description of this video, so if anyone wants to reach out and email me, I can't guarantee you I'm going to respond super quickly, and there's a few emails I think I haven't responded to that I've had in the last few weeks, which I probably should do. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't know when I'm going to come back onto YouTube. If I'm going to come back on YouTube, I'm just, it's not there for me at the moment, for lots of reasons. And it might be that in a few weeks' time I come back and go, do you know, I'm up for it. Let's go crack on and let's do the all-weather season. Get started on the jumps. Maybe I might feel like that. Maybe I just might put out some of the content I've been meaning to put out for years, which is like the how-to guide stuff that and the how I might read form and that kind of stuff. So I might find time and decide I'm going to do that. I got other ideas of things I could do. I could put out more like a weekly video, like at sort of the end of the week, previewing the weekend, and just make it more manageable. I don't know, but right now it's not for me. So if you want York tips, sorry, not got. I mean, I've had a cursory glance already at Wednesdays, but yeah, I haven't given it any great look. What I did notice is in the Great Voltager, Aidan O'Brien's got a bunch of horses, and I do think Thrice is the one that's well overpriced. So I think 50 to 1 each way to Chase Home Lambourne. I think it's worse bets on Wednesday. But anyway, I'm not putting out bets on the channel. If you want to take that, do it with you will. But I'm not. It's nothing I'm recording for profit. So I just don't know is my answer. So officially I'm saying I'm on a channel hiatus for the foreseeable future, and as and when I've come to a decision about what I'm going to do next, or I will let you know. So I'm not saying you'll never see me again. At some point I will provide an update no matter what I'm doing. So if you want to be ahead of the curve on that one, then the best thing to do is subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe to the channel, you're not going to get any notifications for a while because I'm not putting anything out, right? But yeah, I am very, very grateful to all the supporters of the channel. Yeah, I've just met some, as I said, I've met some really nice, decent folk along the way, and that's whether that's people who are into horses, whether that's people who are into data, whether that's just kind people. Because actually, I feel like what I try and do on here is a haven. I mean, some of the stuff out on YouTube is just like some sort of cesspool, isn't it? Like a absolute nonsense. I mean, I know I talk waffle, but at least I don't talk a bunch of bollocks all the time. Yeah, and there's just a lot of negativity, and I'm just not into all of that, right? Okay. General advice is, if you want to follow someone, make sure they've got really clear data, and also clear data that says something. I mean, there's some people who have got genuine intent out there putting out tips who are terrible in my book, absolutely terrible, and some of them keep profit and loss. Like, so it's not, don't just be wary of the dodgy ones. There's some ones who do it with profit and loss. I mean, profit and loss, you look at it, it's terrible. Way worse than mine. And there's people who think they're really good and believe they're really good, but they're not. So just be very mindful. But yeah, pay extra attention if they're called Peter. That's what I would suggest to you. They're the ones you want to be mindful of. And yeah, if they don't show you any data and all they want to talk to you about is a winner ear and a paid bet ear for two, I mean, you add it all up, right? You give people like £3 a day or £5 a day or £8 a day. Like, most of you watching this, I'm sure can't afford to do that. So don't be doing it. Don't be doing it. You're better off keeping that money and actually putting that money that you would have paid someone else for their tips on testing out your own system. Like, you don't have to spend hours doing things. You just it needs to be perseverance on a particular system and a particular angle you want to find. And the secret of it all ultimately is discipline. Like, so many people lose money because they just get gung-ho and they get carried away. And what I try to do on the channel right from the beginning is put out actual volumes and volumes of horses to show that it's not about just you're not having a bet each day or having one horse a day. You can do lots of bets if you've got multiple systems. And what I've got is, over long periods of time, different systems for different types of races. But you have to be mindful of when some of those systems start to just not work in the way that they did work before, or sometimes it's like, do you know what, for inexplicably 4 months that system doesn't work, but then 5 months, then the 5th month it works brilliantly. So it's long term data. But I haven't seen anyone on YouTube that I'd say you want to go and pay any tips for. There's some people out there that do all right, who don't charge. But yeah, just be very, very mindful. Anyway, I wasn't really planning to ramble on about all that anyway. So yeah, that's me. I don't know when I'll be back. And yeah, I will update you when I've got something to update on. And as I said, if you want to reach out and email me in the meantime, you can do. I'll go through the comments of the last couple of videos and posts and stuff, and just to at least acknowledge those and stuff. But yeah, just don't misunderstand. I'm not having a life crisis. I'm just, do you know what? I'm thinking it's the school holidays. I want to spend time with the kids. I still want to get back into my running. I've got other stuff outside of family and stuff, and that I just want to focus on. And yeah, just for the first time in a very long time, I can't remember the last time, to be honest, but many years, I'm just not really, it's just weird for me to go through a period of a couple of weeks and just not be that interested in the horses. Caveat, this August is generally a crappy month. I had my summer break because it was the Shergar Cup, and yeah, last Saturday it's the Great St Wilfrid, which I love from a history point of view, but I didn't have a strong view in that race last weekend. But yeah, you get into York, and York's an interesting meeting in the Ebor, but it's not one I've got a massively positive track record in. So I might have a few wagers. I'll be having a few quid on Thrice, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just, yeah. So I'm all right. I'm just not feeling it, and obviously whether that's related to my dad and stuff, quite possibly so. But yeah, that is me. Thank you very much. I'll see you again. Just don't know when. Thank you very much. I just said that, haven't I? Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.